whole dang thing, TK.
He's got to be the pride and joy as PR #1 right now in runs in South America. Going up against PR #3, and obviously you can't sleep on Raydish either. You know, kind of like also a rise. I mean, kind of a new kid on the block, really showing up and showing out. But Kyna's been around for a while. Kyna's been around so long, he actually took off the piece of his name. He used to be Kyna Ackerman. He's like, no, I don't want to be that anymore. I'm just Kyna.
I'm the artist formerly known as Kyna Ackerman. It's first name only. He's like Cher, he's like Madonna, he's like Prince coming out here. We'll see what he has against Raydish. They talked about the Petra earlier. Raydish has definitely been a Petra loyalist through and through. One of the few out there. We haven't had too many notable Petras who stick with the character. Like Heisen is one of the only other ones I think of off the top of my head. Raydish is right on up there, of course, coming in seat 3 in this tournament, like Duke said. So there are a lot of hopes here by the numbers for Raydish to come out big.
Man, I'm surprised anybody's even questioning. Raydish has been doing quite well for a while. And I'm sure there's a little bit of bias on how you think your favorite person should be a little higher up, but I definitely don't think it's weird that Raydish is at #3 with the way that he's been playing today and the way that he's been playing just throughout this year.
Now, of course, we're seeing more gauntlets coming in. We're also seeing more sword and more katars coming in on the side of Kyna, but it's mostly been swords so far. Kyna really built his name on the back of Bodvar. Then we saw the nerfs come in for Hammer. First stock and go. That was actually kind of a long stock, TK. That was like a minute 28. So there is some serious neutral, some serious care before any of these players tries to actually go in and go for the full commit. We might see some extension of pressure here now that Kyna's over back on the katars, going in with those strings. No edge guard situation just yet.
That should be enough. Yeah, that's going to be enough, though, for sure. That's the one good thing about, well, not even one, but that's one of the good things about Petra is how much force she has on her move. So even normal, like, little combinations after red are actually now kill confirms. So was able to find it right there. Love to see it. And as we get into our next stock, he is going to have to try to catch up right here. Get some good damage. Oh, kind of, though. Able to turn that around.
Sider sending Kyna over to the right, gets the landing, but is immediately punished. Goes for the side light into the down air rather than side light Sair. That's the regular option, but maybe wanted to set him into an edge guard, sending Kyna over onto the wall. Maybe attempt a dunk, maybe a big down signature. Neutral signature, the active frames make connection.
Yeah, but not enough to take Kyna out, but still, I mean, that was a solid read and a good bit of damage that you're able to put out with that neutral sig. Right back on to the orb. A little too far away to get that side light side air to KO, but wait a minute. This time is going to be enough, even from the middle of the stage. I mean, just so much damage being added up off that side light side air, but then on top of that, he was already getting sent pretty far off the first one, so it was only a matter of time, so that was going to take out Raydish. Actually catching a little bit of a lead here. Does have to avoid most likely. I was going to say recovery with the side air works as well.
We got white stocks, we got white skins here, we got these two legends of their own regions coming in. Raydish coming off a 3-2 victory against Sneeze. Kyna coming off a 3-1 victory against Jetbean. D-Light recoveries coming out from Kyna here. The damage trading between these two. Side air sending Raydish to the left. That's going to be an easy punish for Kyna.
Yeah, he was just rolling across the ground right there with that recovery. Kyna was already in position. So I am seeing a lot more of that, what you were talking about earlier. We're seeing the side light to the down air. He's going for reads more than the actual just guaranteed damage of the side light side air, which, I mean, if it's off stage, 100% understandable. Wow, the Shoryuken, but not enough. Way high up, though. That means Kyna, he's hurt. He flew pretty far. I think the next Sig should be able to do it, assuming he finds the right spot, or the next side light side air. Destruct right at the end of that game, man. Raydish went on an absolute tear.
The end of that game was completely in Raydish's control, especially off of that weapon control. He wanted to make sure Kyna didn't have the option to pick up the sword, to pick up the katars, and bring the game back in his favor. It's going to be game 1. Going the way of Raydish. It's going to favor the higher seed here, at least so far.
Yes, sir. And so Kyna, I mean, obviously putting up a really, really good fight. And, clearly, that could have went either way. I think there was a decent amount of damage there on Raydish, where if Kyna was able to force him off stage, he could have got a clean edge guard and taken the game as well. But Raydish not allowing that to happen. Raydish looking about stoic as possible, as this is a very serious moment in this tournament. We are in top 16 trying to break into some top 8 action. And, I mean, whoever gets there has got to be sitting pretty. I mean, sitting on the winner's side of top 8, it always feels good.
That's a nice start. You saw him waiting He wanted to extend that string as long as he possibly could. Got nice 2 strings in there, 2 little mini strings. Didn't get the 3rd one that he wanted. So being a little bit careful here. Not throwing out hardly any attacks, and Raydish doesn't mind whatsoever. Gonna even up that damage, even though Kyna started this one off strong. Swapping back over to the sword. More of the cover weapon. That's the dunk we were expecting earlier. Kyna running out of jumps. Raydish, huge lead.
I mean, yeah, phenomenal lead right there, and also the threat of that second one coming out didn't even put any extra charge on it, and it was still super close to hitting Kyna. And well, in this game, there's no such thing as a sour spot. So if you get hit, you get hit. Okay.
Not in the area whatsoever to punish that one from Raydish's neutral sig. Kyna looking for his way in. He's just getting outranged. That orb dare is so scary.
Get a good angle and attacks that, also kind of keeping you pretty far away because you are kicking it. So always like to see that. You don't got to try it every now and then. Go ahead and put that over the edge. Try to catch someone maybe standing a little too close, or at least force them to think about how close they are allowed to stand. The movement right here from Raydish. Moving around kind of quite well. Kyna definitely has to find this stock. Raydish reaching a little too hard there, and he is going to lose that stock for it.
Now we're seeing a little bit with the Katars in hand, what Flambo was talking about earlier, the struggle to find those KOs. Like we saw the neutral light into the turnaround neutral light and then the follow-up recovery. The reason that happened is because the dodge was caught. If you don't have the dodge caught, there's going to be a dodge coming out in between the in light and the recovery. Not going to be that true option.
Okay, my man is looking. Raydish gets an extra hit there, but he's got to find this stock. I know he wants to put it on the, well, right here. If he gets the right side, light side air, the neutral, wow, neutral light almost actually finishing too. That's got it. Now he's just threatened by everything.
Kyna's just struggling to find any way in whatsoever. I'm anticipating maybe a character swap, but I don't know what you would go to. Do you go to the Bodvar and risk what Hammer is right now in terms of how people think of it in the meta? Because the sword is, it's looking okay, but the Katars, he just can't find his way in. The zoning potential, the range that Raydish has with the orb, it's been dominated by orb. Kyna just cannot handle it.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, yeah, he definitely is not handling this at all, well at all. We are now about to lap Kyna in percentage, or in damage, but Kyna, man, has to do something to get back into this match. I am starting to see a couple more hits connecting here. Almost got a, well, actually almost got a 4-piece if he was able to hit that second side, down light, because he would have went right into the recovery. And I don't know if that would have taken the stock, but definitely would have been a good amount of damage. That should be able to take the stock clean with it too. Love it.
I was a little bit sad there because we only saw the neutral light as the beginning punish, and it was like, man, I wish Raydish was on the ground because then we can hit the D light and then go after it, but Raydish might be cleaning this one up here. Does not have a weapon, but Kyna does not have any jumps. Game 2 goes the way of Raydish. Not a JV2, but close. And Kyna has to find something different. He has to switch it up here. The Yasuri is not working.
Okay, I think
it's the Koji.
Okay.
It's the Koji.
Yeah, got a little swap here. I was wondering, you know, because, yeah, again, you said the Katars were not looking that great, so he does manage to keep the sword here while also threatening a little more range with the bow. See if this works out for him. This is his, you know, last-ditch effort, potentially, if he's not able to take this game. But, you know, you need the game. You need to get a game to start rolling, you know, or otherwise you're hitting that losers bracket relatively soon. Raydish has been looking, you know, he's been playing out of his mind, to be completely honest.
Now, other than the range, I'm wondering if Kyna just has major matchup inexperience against Orb. I mean, a lot of people have matchup inexperience against Orb because, I mean, who's really playing Orb Legends that we've had in Ezio this tournament, and then we've had a couple Petras, and that's mostly it. So a little bit of matchup inexperience. The range was really punishing him earlier. He does have a level 64 Koji on the side of Kyna. This is his 6th highest leveled legend.
I think that's actually a pretty good point that you make there too, because, like, you know, when the hammer was still good, but man, there was a lot of Thor. So obviously you got a lot of Orb right there, but that was a while back. So you might have actually forgot what Orb is doing. And this is a good start though for Kyna. I mean, he is one good hit away from taking this first. Okay, that felt disrespectful for some reason, but
point blank. Yeah. But just bounce, grab it back up. And we're seeing this sword play. This is the sword that Kyna fans wanted coming out. Even being on Koji means you're going to be a little bit harder to punish with all that high dexterity, D-light recovery. Kyna bringing this one back, had the option to go to the bow. No siree, he just feels better on the Koji sword. His sword is so much better than the Asuri was doing previously.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things too, I think I noticed, Kyna really didn't throw out that many SIGs, and I think Koji has a couple more SIGs that he's able to throw out in a better fashion. Oh no, he just never has the jumps for this. But that's Raydish. That's because Raydish continues to just push him down and down until like the jumps just don't even matter anymore. That is probably like the like the 5th stock he's lost like that.
The edge guard pressure that comes out from Raydish is unparalleled. He's just stopping Kyna in his tracks. Kyna's so afraid of getting hit that Raydish doesn't even have to find the hit.
Okay, looking like Kyna. Oh man, another recovery might have been able to do it there. Didn't pull the trigger on it. Didn't even get the soft platform landing, so everything was set. But he had just maybe not expected Raydish to come straight down like that.
Nice.
What a 2-piece. All right, down air into the side air. Drifts over there and finishes that stock. And now it's a little bit of a lead. Well, actually, not even a lead. A lot of a lead here for Kyna. I know it's got to feel good. He's got the swap and it's working out for him. That's the best, best case scenario.
He also swapped from white to edgy black and gamer red. It's just, there's so much more swagger coming out of Kyna's sword here compared to Asuri's previously. He looks like a completely different player. You take away the overlay, you take away the KY in above his name, you're like, oh, this is a new set.
Honestly, though, yeah, I mean, this looks like a much more confident player this time around. I still think he has to worry about how he's getting back to the stage. That was clean though, out of options, or out of jumping options, but still able to scrap his way down with that side air, and now threatening a stock. Raydish is able to touch the wall this time. Kyna actually was in position to just straight up recovery that, but went for a down air instead.
Sidelight side air from Raydish, going to end that stock. Now, even though Raydish is up 2-0 right now, let's say Kyna takes this out here, it's a JV2. TK, I can't tell you how many games I've seen in sets that go like this and then end in a 3-1 with complete domination by the other players. Yeah. So I'm still expecting that as a possibility, but Kyna is going to guarantee at least a game 4.
You called that immediately. He did not get hit on that last stock, so got the JV2. I know that's got to feel good. Got the swap, and it worked out. Got the bow actually involved as well, and the bow actually became a pretty pivotal part of that match, being able to take the last stock. But it's just nice to, I mean, obviously it was mostly sword. Like, yes, clearly it was mostly sword, but it's nice to see the fact that he's still willing to drop into the bow if it's there and he can use it to his advantage. I think you might have been right about the swap over to Koji. A lot of dexterity. He's able to move a little faster, swing a little faster. Still hasn't really dropped that many SIGs, but doesn't really need it.
TK, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Guess a percentage about how much of Kyna's damage was done on sword.
I'm gonna say a quality 95%.
Now TK could have cheated because I do have the numbers up here, but I'm gonna tell you, TK's being honest, he's a little bit off. 73%. Still an insane amount of damage to dedicate to one weapon. That's a Kosalix game right there. That's the damage that Kosalix puts out on Lance. That's why Kyna is this sword player. That's why when Hammer got that nerf, you see him not go to a completely different legend, but he goes over to the Asuri or he goes over to the Koji because of that sword.
Right, so let's see if Raydish actually can put the hands on to Kyna this time around. As you said, you've seen a lot of these situations where it looked like someone's going to rally back, and then the player who was already at 2 just figures it out. I was like, actually, no, you're just playing a different character. I remember how to play again. I'm back in it. Not looking like that just yet, but no one's really got a solid lead until that little moment. Kyna now pushing Raydish off the stage. Raydish, great evasion to get back to the stage, though. Now turned into his own edge guard, but it's just going back and forth.
Both players are on their comfort weapon here. Kyna did start this one out with the bow, swapping it over to the sword. Raydish was charging that, hoping Kyna was going to fall into it. He did not, and he got a nice punish. Didn't get the stock quite yet, though. There's a weapon spawn, but it's favoring the side that Kyna is in. Raydish gets through, but it's not the orb, it's the gauntlets. We'll see if he can get some damage added up before he falls. Next spawn comes in, it's a sword for Kyna. So Kyna's on his strongest weapon. Raydish is gonna fall, but if he had orb in his hand when he fell, that means that the next weapon he would grab here is the gauntlet. So that's actually sort of the best case scenario, because now he's gonna have an orb in his hands.
Yeah, and that's gonna work out, but still not able to get that stock. Yeah, I know he has been looking as I've always looked at him as a gauntlet player, but it seems that as of late he's like, actually, I've been working very, very hard on my orb. And as you had said earlier, a lot of people may have not been super familiar with the orb as of late. does get that stock by the drop down Sair. And he didn't take too much damage. Going to be right back onto the orb, see if he can get some good pressure and damage started early.
Oh, ooh, nice. Coming out from Raydish there. Got the dodge initially, the back-to-back neutral lights. There's yet another neutral light. We're seeing some confidence coming out from Raydish. Has this one nice and even despite the early lead that Kyna took. Side light, side air, goes back, attempts the reset, sees Kyna in the air, the recovery comes out.
Raydish has to get, yeah, I mean, this is, I like the way that Kyna's playing this too, just patrolling a lot of the ground here. Raydish, you know, struggling to get down and find some footing with Kyna just being so close to him all the time.
Now, you've jokingly said in the past, intense neutral. This is like, I'm being serious though. This is intense neutral.
This actually is some intense neutral.
The footsie between these two players. Raydish already up one game here as we are in game 4. A victory here for Raydish means he moves on into the top 8. Winner's side takes the lead here on the second stock. Kyna needs a victory here. He has to get this stock if he wants the hope of staying on the top side and not going down to the elimination bracket. Raydish starting this one out. Strong damage so far. See if he can add up a little bit more before falling.
But that last stock was like, that was like kind of like reverse conditioning because he hasn't really been able to get off the ledge well. And so the one time that Kyna's like, all right, I can pressure the ledge much better, he's like, actually, it's a trump card. Here you are, now hold this neutral sig. I mean, something he has not done on since the first game. And I mean, obviously, probably kind of forgot about it, but it got him the stock. But I mean, we're going to keep it pretty even as we get into the last stock. Raydish trying to close this thing out right here, right now. Kyna trying to get it to a 5th game.
So we have an important moment right here. Kyna has already primed another sword, so the next weapon he gets is a sword. Raydish, of course, has the gauntlets in his hand. Kyna's been playing a pretty solid weapon starve game. You see him keeping Raydish away from the orb that's on the field. He's adding up the damage. Has Raydish in orange. 1 or 2 more hits, Raydish is going to be in the red, but Raydish has the orb in his hands. You know the 3 pieces, 4 pieces that Raydish can add up and how quickly he can add them up. Kyna, delay recovery, that'll do it. Game 5, TK.
Literally played him like a puppet. Everywhere that Raydish was, Kyna was right next to him with the, like he knew he was going to be there already. Got the right punish, got the right finisher right there at the end with the down light to the recovery. But yeah, all the, as you said, like the weapon star was pretty insane. You saw Raydish just kind of trying to swing his way back in here the entire time. Was not able to do it because of the way that Kyna just continually outspaced him. Got extra damage. By the time he got the orb, it was too late. It was too late.
You saw Raydish wiping a little bit of sweat from his brow there, feeling the stress on this one. This swap over to the Koji. Raydish was up 2-0. The pressure is on. Both of these players extremely young, extremely inexperienced on land. This is a tough situation for both players. Raydish starting this one off with the gauntlets, but already has the strings coming out. Kyna on the bow. Both players on their off weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, Raydish too, though, like, you can tell that I think Kyna is just so comfortable fighting against the gauntlets that he does have to like, kind of stay more onto the orb. Just, I mean, Raydish was getting absolutely outspaced. Again, still kind of getting outspaced as he's trying to find his way in with that gauntlet. He's just not able to do it. Back onto the orb, though. Good recovery. Okay, look for a lot right there with that neutral sig, though, or side sig.
Now, this is such an interesting matchup. I mean, we've been talking about Kyna's sword and Raydish's orb, but the fact that we have 2 players who are pretty loyal to their characters, but specifically really loyal to their weapons. We don't usually have 2 of those players going up against one another. Like, we'll have a set with Koslix, or we'll have a set with Tiffany's Katars, but rarely do we have 2 kings of their weapons, King Kyna and King Raydish here.
I mean, you can definitely tell, like, this will be their favorite weapon. This will be the matchup you'll probably see for the rest of this set. That is going to be a quick pick up there for Kyna. Kyna, though, really kind of borrowing a page from the EU book. He is continuously just kind of playing the intention neutral, letting his opponent come to him, and then getting the correct punish after that to get the stock. Wasn't able to do it right there, as obviously he already got the, the stock. Wasn't able to add too much damage, and now Raydish is back into the match.
I think the movement game is definitely going towards Kyna here. So comfortable on this Koji, so clean on this Koji. And we've had a lot of clean Koji players in Brawlhalla's history. Kyna ranks among the best of them. Again, we're seeing that weapon spawn on the field. Normally players would care. These 2 do not care.
They do not. I mean, like, they're like, hey, we have what I need, okay? Don't need to window shop for this. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep my orb in my hand. I'm gonna keep my my sword in my hand. Not even looking at the other weapon. And by the time they do, this just a weapon cycle. So
Kyna with just a little bit of a lead here. Raydish, bit by bit, he's bringing this one back. A couple whiffs here and there, but no major punishes from Kyna just yet. Kyna feeling the stress as well. The neutral air, not quite enough. Gets a side air that disarms. Next weapon for Raydish is going to be the Gauntlet.
oh.
Nice punish, and you talked about the rare signatures earlier. That's one of them, one of the very few that we've seen.
Okay, the neutral light almost finishing right there, but the neutral air actually will be the one to do it. Kyna might actually hit the reverse 3-0.
Oh, and he's able to grab the sword there over the bow. Raydish floating in the air, hoping for the weapon spawn to come back in. He's able to grab it very quickly.
Okay, John's going for the reverse.
TK, that hurts. That hurts so bad. That hurts so bad. Kind of falling out of that one. Some damage was done, but he didn't get the dump of force onto it to push Kyna away, giving him some more breathing room.
Off to his off weapon yet again. I mean, it seems like he might be trying to favor the gauntlets a little more, maybe trying to mix up what he's been doing, because Kyna actually has been doing a good job against the orb. The issue is, though, everyone has been fighting against gauntlets. Everyone knows what to do against gauntlets right now. Okay, good turnaround. This might be a good enough point. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, okay, he was able to make it back. That was actually a super scary position, but he does end up finding the down, ground pound regardless. But can he get the damage up? He's already starting to hit the red. He's in that deep orange. And now in the red.
Sending Raydish closer and closer to KO damage. Raydish on his off weapon. Getting juggled just a little bit, kind of giving him plenty of space, controlling the center of this stage. Recovery comes out in air, side air, edge guard setup, kind of disengages, but the landing is punished.
Okay, Raydish, get back down to the ground one more time. Raydish really actually believing here in the gauntlets. Is not trying to swap weapons yet, but I do think, you know, that's probably the better option. I do think that, like, right now in this match, the orb kind of got figured out, so he does have to scrap it up with the gauntlets. It's not going to be enough, though. The side air is going to take the set. My man Kyna actually coming back. Put the last name back on him. He deserves it. Kyna coming back with the Koji only.
I was seeing the gauntlet damage that Raydish was adding up. He was obviously nervous to pick up that weapon because Kyna was right there. Raydish was so damaged. Yes, the orb would feel like a bed of cool water when the walls are on fire, but he knew how dangerous that would be, so you saw him step up on those gauntlets. It wasn't quite enough. He did, was it 27 damage on the gauntlets? No, I'm seeing incorrect numbers. I'm lying. I'm just lying on the internet for fun. Man, wow, Raydish, what a performance, but Kyna takes it. The young legend hailing from Brazil. BCX is so special because we have the old guys coming back and a lot of them actually doing really well, but we also have the young players showing how diverse this scene is, TK.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I'm just so, like, taking it back by the way that this turned out. You know, Kyna was not looking that great in the first two games. Comes back with the Koji, mad hard in the last three. Obviously, the analysts will tell you exactly how this broke down. Analysts, take it away.
Thank you so much, TK. Yes, Kyna with the switch to Koji. Really, it was a close game until that Koji switch, and then they, wow, like I'm still kind of mind blown about how Kyna just took that over. Flambo, tell me about this.
This one's a heartbreaker. Like, I mean, kind of like good stuff to you, obviously, but like for Raydish, there's nothing worse than being at this part of bracket, being this close.